Hi everyone, my name is Dusty Raybottoms, and my pronouns are girl and bitch. I'll take you there. I am so thrilled to be here to help celebrate Ace Schwarz and the importance of supporting teachers and educators. I only wish that I had a teacher like Ace when I was growing up in Louisville, Kentucky. But first off, just because Ace is so cool. They are currently in their 4th year of teaching and love sharing their passion for science and all things nerdy with their students, including Marvel and Star Wars. I never had a teacher like that. You all know I love dressing up, and it sounds like Ace and I both share a fascination for a cape, if you know what I mean. As an educator, Ace prioritizes bringing LGBTQ plus inclusive curriculums and support into their classrooms, and has previously worked with GLSEN Maryland to bring staff training into their schools. In addition to science, Ace also teaches an English class about a novel, Gracefully Grayson, a story of a boy who realizes he identifies as a girl. Through this class, their students explore identity, LGBTQ terms, history, and current events. This class led students at Aces High School to advocate for a GSA, and Springfield is now one of 2 middle schools in the county to have one. As you may have guessed, Ace is a bit of an overachiever. Not content with just Inspire during school hours, they also run 4 after-school programs, which also includes his school's GSA, which is in its 1st year. Outside of school, Ace uses Instagram as a platform to advocate for LGBTQ plus students and educate teachers on how to support them. They create a free resource called the ABCs of LGBTQ+ to teach the terminology, and also curate K-12 books listed that showcase LGBTQ+ themes and authors. As some of you all may know, I had a tough time growing up when it came to acceptance. When I was 20, my parents found out I was gay and put me through conversion therapy. Fortunately, I have found my own path in recovery that included a one-way plane ticket to New York City. Thank you. Yeah. But it would have been so much easier if I had someone or a teacher like Ace when I was growing up. While changing hearts and minds is not an exact science, I'm a big believer that the theory that having people in our lives who create safe places where we can be our true, authentic selves helps to build up a resistance to endure the challenges that our community faces on a daily basis. Ace, thank you so much for being the teacher that we all deserve and need. Everyone, please put your hands together for the recipient of the 2019 Educator of the Year Award, Ace Schwarz.
Good evening, friends. I have to say, being up here at a podium is giving me some epic Tony Stark vibes from the first Iron Man movie, when he looks out into the sea of people and announces to the world, "I am Iron Man." Now, I'm not Tony Stark, and I'm not Iron Man, but I am Ace Schwarz. My pronouns are they and them, and to be honest, that is way cooler to me. I spent a long time trying to figure out who I was, so to stand in front of you exactly as I am and be very happy and very proud of it is a big deal for me. When it came to my gender and sexuality, I didn't understand a lot for a long time. In middle school, I didn't understand why, when I asked what homosexuality was, a teacher scrunched up her nose and said, "Oh, we don't talk about that at school." In high school, I didn't understand why I never read or learned about people who had similar feelings to me. I truly felt like there was something inherently wrong with who I was and how I felt. I think part of these issues were due to the time period because gender and sexuality was not something that was openly discussed or embraced. And then in college, I found Tumblr, a social media blogging site. And suddenly, I was exposed to new vocabulary of LGBTQ plus terms, including non-binary, which I realized fit me very well. I became a teacher for a few reasons, my passion for the profession being the main one. But as I began exploring my gender identity, I realized I also became a teacher because I want to ensure that my students do not have the same experience I did. I wanted to create a classroom environment where my students could ask questions, unpack their feelings, and feel accepted for who they are, no matter where they are in their journey. There are a variety of ways to create safe spaces and inclusive classrooms. I asked for student pronouns in the beginning of the year, along with all of the other get-to-know-you information, because we should be normalizing this practice. In 7th grade science, we study the human body and genetics, and the topic of gender versus sex always seems to come up, and in my classroom, this conversation is embraced. For example, I had a student ask me if people who identify as asexual, folks that do not experience sexual attraction to anyone, reproduce with themselves. Which makes total sense because in the beginning of the school year, we learn about asexual reproduction with plants. What an awesome connection. And not only did he feel comfortable enough to ask, but I was able to clear up a misconception in about a minute, and then he went back to work on reading an article about the Gulf Stream. Middle schoolers are great. I share these stories with you because creating an inclusive space does not have to be a big or difficult production. That said, I recognize that not everyone comes from the supportive environment I work in. I cannot be fired because of my gender and sexual identity, and my principal and union have consciously worked to make sure that I am comfortable and safe throughout my entire transition. Yeah. Those of us who have the privilege of supportive environments also have the responsibility to ensure that students are exposed to topics like sexuality and gender in informed and non-threatening ways. GLSEN has played a major role in all of these endeavors, from the Jumpstart Guide when we first began Free to Be, our GSA, to their glossary and articles about different LGBTQ+ books, which helped me create resources for other teachers. I would like to end this speech with a few thank yous because I would not be up here having my Iron Man moment without some really special people. The first is Christine Hurley, my nominator, who's with me tonight, who believed, yes, please. Who believed from day one that I would be up here tonight despite my protest and disbelief. Christine, I love you 3000. I'd also like to thank the staff and administration at Springfield for their love and support. Last but certainly not least, I'd like to thank GLSEN for the incredible honor of being Educator of the Year and for all of their work with advocating for students and teachers. Thank you all so much and have a great evening.